Welcome back, everybody, to the Warlord of SBAS plays Torment, Ties in Numenera, episode 70. Last time, we fixed, their, relationship, their angry issues, because they believe in two different things. Fix that.
Alright, Ring, you can do this.
Ring can do this. So let's go back to talk to Adrius, or whatever. Adirius. Have you helped Rama and Adronis come to a conclusion yet? I managed to persuade them to their senses. They've agreed to a temporary peace. She claps her hands softly. Well done. Well done indeed. To be free to choose is a part of life in SBAS. We must own our choices, just as we own our responsibilities for the outcomes of those choices.
I'll remember that.
Before I can allow you to alter the course of a brother's life, I would hear your opinion on something which touches the lives of all our kind. You have no doubt heard the endless battle, but what do you know about it? Why do they fight? Who is right? She bows her head slightly. If perchance you have heard only a little about the conflict, you may wish to speak to your brethren before answering. I have actually heard quite a bit. Let's talk to her first. I ask you some questions first. What do you think of the endless battle?
Making a note.
The truth, she shudders and her voice is hot with anger, is a waste of life. A waste of talent, a waste of Numenera that could be used to make the world better. They say conflict is the driver of progress, but the world has achieved all the technological progress it requires. The progress we need is in learning in the humanities, in learning in the to communicate well, truly with one another. She says, but both sides claim to be doing it to protect us. And can I truly argue with them? No. Tell me about yourself. I keep the peace here in SBAS. Our sire brought the jagged dream of Scissors Cliffs in my body. Did you know that? She shakes her head. The conflict they seek to start, the wars I swore that I would make no deaths in my lifetime, bring no pain. I came here in the wake of the first death, and her loyalties were at the throats of her sires. I brought peace to them. They agreed we would make SBAS a sanctuary again. This is my achievement, my legacy. Why would you feel guilty about your sires bringing the jagged dream of Scissors Cliffs? It wasn't you. True, and yet, the jagged dream knew me under the name and the history that wasn't my own. The killers, the haters, the ones who wanted to see blood and death, they would tell me of their schemes. They wanted my approval, and any action on my part, they took as such. She stares down at her hands. I have never taken a life, but blood stains me. I can feel that again, I can't feel that again ever. He brought the jagged dream using my body. I can't be sure it wasn't me. Who put you in charge? No, why? No one did. I saw the need and forged the peace myself. I saw the path to avoid the bloodshed, and I set my feet upon it, with my end goal in mind. Those who would oppose me saw that I had set my ideals and would not deviate from them. And since my plan did not involve exalting myself over them, did not put them in a disadvantage, who could say no? Indeed, I am in charge only insofar as they allow it. They are the ones who enforce the peace. I just speak of it. I have other questions. I'd like to ask some questions about, well, cast-offs. and all that entails. Of course. Can you tell me about the cast officer? She spreads her hands in regret. Ordinarily, we see more activity here, and we would perhaps have prepared a homecoming for you. But rumor has convinced many that the sorrow has been more active of late. To ease their minds, I offer to vote to close the portals into the sanctuary. But I digress. The current guests include the Chalkedion, Lady Anish, Blurp, 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 and Blurp, because I don't want to read a bunch of fantasy names. I suppose you just missed my friend Podge. So if you join me in voting against it, I underestimated how afraid they all are. The Chaldean commands our greatest forces in the endless battle. He's a true believer, a tightly wound man, but brilliant. Lady Asha brings her trinkets from all over her mercantile empire. Poor Okasha has been badly treated by the world. Perhaps you could have a word or two with him. Odrana as well. His best quality is that he's loyal to Podge. Perhaps I should say to the memory of the first. But he's also volatile and argumentative, and he's devoted his centuries to fighting. You'll likely find him sparring verbally with Rama. Those whose devotion to the ideals of our sire is the equal of his. Smiles a bit, and then my friend Melmath, leader of the Dundar O'Hare. He's quite a charmer. Speak to him. You'll see. Yeah, I liked him. Can you tell me about the cast staff who aren't here? A small frown crosses her mouth, a wrinkle in her eyebrow. Our creator's choice to live a bountiful life. He has brought hundreds into the world. He has explored many forms, shapes, and sizes. He has led some of our kin through time, twisting loops. I do not know all their names, but I hope that I might one day befriend them, even those who have been twisted into savagery. Even if I knew them all, I did not divulge their secrets, just as I would not divulge yours. She smiles gently to take the sting from her rebuke. Tell me about the sorrow. I know nothing about where it came from, nor its purpose, nor its true desires, apart from seeing us all dead. She closes her eyes. None of us do, though some of us have devoted centuries to trying to understand it. Indeed, the creation of SBAS was intended for that purpose. But the first and the changing god grew complacent, and they grew passive, and then the endless battle. She sighs and opens her eyes. Sometimes I feel the sorrow must hunt us because so many of us are very disagreeable. But in truth, I believe the sorrow hunts us because of something to do with the tides. Our unique power is tied to the tides. Most must summon it. I have not seen the sorrow track other living beings, nor heard of it in any context but the cast-off situation. It must be the tides. It must. What you can tell me about Malavest? Name comes from a language predating our creator. It means Stone of Wonders. He and the first created our sanctuary jointly, sitting on the plateau because the devices they found were powered uniquely suited to creating a sanctuary and its power and to power the shield that protect us. They brought more of us here. Our elders hide from the sorrow, or retreated here from the cares of the world. They built homes, laboratories, and more. The shields protected them from the sorrow's gaze. But when the first and the changing gods struggled, all that fell apart. The peace of Malavast was shattered. And those who remained chose sides. Blood spilled in the Great Disc. Factions fought for control of the wisdom gained here. She shakes her head. It's just a waste. It was not until after the first death and my arrival that we were able to resecure peace. And so we once again have a sanctuary for any cast-off. She looks silently at companions. And their occasional guests. With that, we had not closed the doorways, though. Whether sorrow is truly more active or not, there are undoubtedly others who would not wish to find safety here. She shakes her head. I accept the responsibility for the closure. Those who chose to leave have left, and I wish the rest safety. Can you tell me about the first guest off? She died a few years after I was born. A pity. I wish I could have spoken with her to understand her drive and passion. She honestly thought she would serve us all, and sometimes I ask myself what she might do in a situation when two of our brothers are fighting. She shrugs, and then I remember that so many of them had died fighting in her war, and my respect vanishes. Would have loved to speak with her, help her find another way, alas. Talk about the changing on. What do you think of him? Have you seen him? Do you know where he is? This is quite a list. Which would you prefer to address first? Have you seen him recently? She laughs. Never to my knowledge. Perhaps I have, and he never revealed himself. It would be very like him to gather his intelligence and then be away. We regard every new cast-off with suspicion that he or she might truly be our creator, and frequently a new cast-off will pretend to be. But we find the truth, one way or another, and our sire continues to live in a way that we do not fully understand. What do you think of the creator? A brilliant man, thoughtful, charismatic, a mind greater than any of the Ninth World has seen. Where the anal priests of today cobbled together bits and pieces of Numenera, our creator was a visionary. Were it not for the sorrow, I honestly believe that he would lift us into a new age of human achievement. She shrugs. He has also systematically destroyed every relationship he ever built. He does not seem to understand human frailty or emotion. No, let me rephrase that. He understands those things well enough to exploit them in others, but does not accept their reality. If you understand what I mean more plainly, he is a selfish man who grows even more disconnected with his inferiors every year. She just purses her lips. His life is a tragedy. It truly is. What do you know of his history? Much of it has deliberately obscured, and much he has rewritten, either to make himself seem a better man, or to keep his enemies from finding him. But I can provide you with broad strokes if you wish. She closed her eyes, recalling. He saved the city of Scissor Cliffs from the Tibet, and it was after the siege that he focused so heavily on mental transference techniques. Though we do not know why, he was successful in his attempts, obviously. And this is the first record we have of the sorrow in modern times. She taps her finger on her lips. He traveled to another world, or dimension, and I have heard that this is where the first was born. His studies in the tides ran deep. He claimed to have spent lifetimes exploring them, and when he had mastered them, he destroyed the Tibet utterly. He brought the order of truth to Scissor Cliffs, and sought to keep the knowledge alive by creating the Dondor O'Hare. His life has been about creation, or preservation of wisdom. She shakes her head. But to what end? There seems to be no pattern or goal. He does not seem to build for humanity, but for his own legacy. Should we emulate this? Let's make sure. Okay, see if you can. What do you know about the tides? I have studied them. What else can I do when I'm not trying to keep the peace here? The first in our sire used Malavast as the sanctuary, after all. Though the remaining notes are cryptic or piecemeal, I have learned enough to believe that it is our use of the tide that draws the sorrow to us. Each of us has access to a broader tidal power, tidal surges, as you have no doubt discovered, but I choose not to use mine, and I have seen no sign of the sorrow. I recognize that this is not a logical conclusion. The sorrow might yet hunt me for reasons unknown, but I am content in knowing that at least I harm no others with my body. Smile flickers. Melmoth knows more, as he is eager to tell us at every opportunity. He has made certain to use every tool at his disposal in an effort to preserve and understand our lives, but I do not believe that he has made an extensive study of the sorrow's motivations. That's everything. Talk about something else. What's the creepy pyramidal structure on the opposite side of the plateau? She gets in the direction of you're pointing. Ah, she says finally. The feretory. And it is unclear whether she is saying the name with reverence or disgust. That has been here for as long as I can remember. Though not, perhaps. When Malavast was originally founded, what is known is that the first place to it there. What is not known is why. Rumors abound, of course, but as no one knows how to activate it or open it, not going to be proven. What do people think the Fertori is? Oh, the predictable legends. An escape pod of some kind. A final defense against the sorrow. Should break through. A repository of the first treasures. Or one person suggests that the first herself was still alive, preserved inside. And that she would return when we needed her most. Her smirk shows that she thinks of the last rumor. It is clear that it is a protection of some kind, but whether it's to protect us or what's inside it remains to be seen. All right, I can give an opinion about the endless battle now. Very well. What do you believe the point of the endless battle is? There is no point. It's a waste. A waste? Really? It could be argued that our kind has grown stronger through continual conflict. I wouldn't argue it, but still. No, it's a waste of innocent lives. She nods. There is merit in standing up by one's opinion. Only be certain that I'm doing so. You do not shut your ears to opinions of others. It is important. She clasps her hands together. So why do you think I have asked you this? No, that does not start from the first task. Why would I tell you to walk to Melmoth when he ridicules my beliefs? You wanted to expose me to other viewpoints. Precisely. When you have incomplete information, you are exposed to alternate opposite viewpoints. How do we judge what is true? You must reach a conclusion at some point. But unless those conclusions are backed with incontrovertible evidence, you must never imagine that you have the sole grasp on the truth. Why did you imagine I intended that when I asked you to intervene with Rama and Adronis? To resolve a dispute with regard for both parties' feelings and motivations. This is exactly so. My intention for you in this task was to have you change the lives of your siblings for the better, while they still control their own bodies. To offer them alternatives and see if you can provide them with a route through their troubles that maintain their core goals. When we come to the question of endless battle, what purpose did that discussion serve? New. Challenging my beliefs with alternate viewpoints, perhaps. Correct, and absolutely judged. The goal in all of this was to make you question your assumptions and see things through others' eyes. She holds her gaze. It may be that nothing of import happens in Zera's mire. You might enter, speak with Mozov, and leave without altering him a bit. But even if so, there'll be other mirrors. What if the next one is Mammoth or Rems, or even mine? Whose assumptions will you take with you into the life? Whose goals will you accomplish, and what cost? You have the power to change the course of a life, of many lives, without their permission or even their knowledge. You will have to weigh those their desires against your own, deciding whether the needs of your life are more important than theirs. You'll have to know with utmost certainty and integrity what does one life matter. Seek your own answer, brother. That is what matters most. A lot of options here. I'll choose this one. Each life is important. Every person carries a world of potential. Each life should benefit others. An admirable belief in one I share.
Making a note.
From within her robe, she produces a small, clean box. A stylized version of the changing god's sigil is emblazoned across the top of it. This is the mere caster of a cast-off named Zerion. One brother looked into it once and reported seeing Zero in the fields of Blah, and later speaking with Mezov. I highly recommend you take care of an unfinished business before you enter the mirror. You can change the past after all. Anything might happen, let me know when you're ready. Alright. Let's make sure I'm ready. What quest do I have? That one. That's just it. And I talked to everyone, did everything I think I can do. So I will end the episode here, and next time we'll go into the mirror memory thing, whatever. So until next time, remember, Brace of Chaos, so you go, man. Bye.